G'day, and welcome to the Best of the Rest F1 podcast with Sticks and Fraser. Tune in weekly to hear everything Formula One.
Welcome back to another episode of the Best of the Rest podcast. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sticks.
And I'm Fraser.
And it is Monaco time.
Yeah, ready for probably the best qualifying sessions of the year, but also probably one of the worst races of the year.
You can't have it both ways, can you?
No, you can't eat your cake and have it too, and whatever the fuck the saying goes.
Close enough.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. It doesn't even make sense. When do you ever get given a cake and then they say, actually, you can't eat that? That's for everyone else.
Yeah, who wants to look at the cake and not eat it?
Yeah. I actually did Google this once. I can't remember the exact answer, but it was something to do with, in the olden days, it was like a flex that you got a cake.
Oh, that actually rings a bell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got so many calories sitting there on your counter. It's like a...
Yeah, so it was like you actually just preserved the cake kind of thing.
As like a flex on all the neighbours.
Yeah, so it's like, if you want to show off how good you are, you leave your cake there, so you can't have your cake and eat it too. Something like that.
Look at
Anyway,
rich
there you
people
go.
with
How's that?
With their delicious cake and
Ooh.
a week's worth of calories while people are out there starving.
Yeah.
Well, didn't see the pod starting in that direction, but you never know what happens around here.
No, unpredictable.
So, yeah, probably similar to Monaco, really.
It can be, yep. I try to put my hat on who's the gun qualifiers at the moment and who's a gun around the track and try and predict something there. But as we've seen in the past, you can have a few red flags in the session that can put a bit of a spin on things.
Yeah, Perez probably the biggest, I guess, perpetrator of that in recent time. The supposed purposeful spin to red flag the session. Spicy.
Yeah, you can't get into any of those Crashgate scandals now that Flavio Briatore is back on the grid properly.
Ugh. That's all I got to say about that.
Yuck.
Right, well, FIA have implemented the mandatory two-stopper for Monaco this year to see if they can spice the race up somewhat.
I'm intrigued.
What are the chances that we actually get a half-decent race out of that?
Pretty low. But it can't be any worse, can it?
Just shut it down straight away.
It can't be any worse.
But it's probably not going to do much.
Well, yeah, better race for Monaco standards. Better race as in as good as most of them on the F1 calendar? I don't think so. But yeah, it's always going to create that extra aspect. I still feel like we're going to have teams all doing the exact same strategy. I think Bernie Collins touched on it at one stage that teams are either going to pit like almost immediately and then just essentially try and hang it out and see if there's a safety car and then pit then, or they just pretty much won't pit and then try and whack them in at the end. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how she goes.
If you're at the back of the grid, I feel as if it's a no-brainer. Why not get one pit in off the rip, chuck the hards on, depending on what compound they're using for the weekend. But chuck the hards on and just run it for the whole race and just wait and see if there's an incident. Get a cheap pit stop, and then who knows what could happen.
We saw last year with Perez and Magnussen coming together and Hülkenberg getting caught up in it as well, that that crash on the first lap, red flag, everyone gets to change their tyres under red flag conditions, so they get their mandatory tyre change in, and then literally just stayed on the exact tyre set for the rest of the Grand Prix.
And that was it.
And I hate that rule, actually, if I'm perfectly honest. I think the mandatory tyre change needs to be done under race conditions.
Yep, 100%.
Because it just ruins it, really. Like, what's the point of introducing that for then everyone to get a free tyre change while they're sitting in the garage. Like, yeah, you should be allowed to change your tyres and you can go to whatever you want, but that should not count as the mandatory pit stop / tyre change.
I also think, like a little bit off topic to that, but I think it sucks that we lose racing laps behind safety cars. Like weekend just gone, we lost 7 laps under safety car.
Yeah.
I know fuel consumption comes into it and you can't just sort of add those laps on at the end, but yeah, it does suck to lose. Well, Imola could have been a completely different result if there was 7 more laps to go. Would have spiced things up, potentially a different podium. But yeah, Monaco, if you have an early incident or red flag and then you take the pit stops out of it, then that's the only thing that's going to spice the race up. And so you just can't be losing that.
No, that's right. Like, I don't even know where to go from that. It's just frustrating, really. Like, yeah, have a look at your rules. Seriously.
Do something. Do you think there actually is a legitimate chance that someone, say in the back half of the grid, makes an aggressive strategy call, boxes early, and can actually become a decent point scorer? Do you reckon that's a viable option?
Yeah, I think it's possible. So yeah, if there's a couple out there that have a bad quali or something that's got some pace and chuck in an early pit, get a bit of clean air, catch back up to the back of the pack, maybe they pass some cars or safety car or whatever comes out because someone crashes or engine failure or whatever. But something that brings a safety car. And then everyone else that hasn't pitted is obviously going to take that opportunity. So they do have the opportunity to jump a few. So, yeah, or they take that pit stop again. Because like we saw when we mentioned about Perez, that they could take, even if it was like 2 laps later, they could take that as their second pit stop and just hang it out and then just wait for everyone else to pit. And yeah, who knows where you're kind of going to end up, probably pretty well up the top.
Well, that'd be the move, wouldn't it? You get a cheap pit stop and then run it long and everyone else still has to box and you've sort of somewhat caught up and you could be on.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting because obviously you're going to have the front runners that are obviously going to be fully concentrated on track position because essentially impossible to pass. Then you're going to have back markers or guys have had a shit quali that maybe they will run that alternate strategy. So, yeah, no, I'm keen. I'm keen to see that double pit stop come into play and see how the teams and the strategists handle it.
Moving on from the bottom half of the field, or might even be a little bit too optimistic to say that, but Ferrari, where do they go from here? Is this a track that maybe they were targeting going into this season? Can they score a podium? Or is it going to be more of the same that we've seen to this point of the season from them?
Well, I haven't seen a consistent car in any means. I haven't really seen a track we've gone, right, so Ferraris are working on slow corners or working on fast straights or whatever. It just seems to be generally slow everywhere. So they're really going to have to turn it on here. And as we've said, like it's all about quali. So might need a Leclerc masterclass or a Hamilton to throw one back from the past and put a good lap together and actually make it stick. But their quali pace has been what's really been struggling. So, yeah, big all eyes on Ferrari, I think.
Do you give them any chance to threaten the podium?
I don't think they're going to threaten the podium this weekend. They need to, but I don't think they will.
Can't see it.
No.
Okay, Max Verstappen. I think was it last year's lap? No, it was the year before.
Yeah.
when he made up like 3 or 4 tenths in the last sector.
Yeah, I think that was 23 or even 22. Yeah.
How competitive the grid is to this point. Do you reckon Max is going to pull another one of those out? Has he got one in him to stun the grid again and put that Red Bull that shouldn't be there but on pole?
Bit of a spoiler alert, I guess, for my future prediction, but yeah, I think he's going to hook one up. Like Verstappen just
Hook one up.
he's going to hook one up.
I like that.
Yeah, he's looking hot. He's fucking on one. Like this car, it shouldn't be where he's putting it most of the time, and qualies especially. He just seems to just be able to squeeze every last 10,000th out of the car. So I think, I think he'll do it again for Monaco. If you go back to last year, he's probably a bit disappointed that didn't get the pole there. So yeah, I reckon he'll be looking
He's on for one.
he'll be looking to capitalise.
I guess, do we jump over to our predictions then, considering I just sort of forced you to give a little bit of a spoiler?
Yeah. I guess that's what happens when we don't know what each other have got. So my pole was Verstappen. So who do you have, Sticks?
I've gone for the modern day GOAT himself, Verstappen.
Oof.
So
You've
I can just see
doubled down
him.
on it.
I can just see him putting together another monster lap, and you can see he's hungry for it. Like I think he loves the fact that there's some fierce competition this year.
Yeah.
I think it's almost bringing the best out of him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see him putting on pole.
Yeah, he's always kind of seemed like one of those guys where it doesn't care if he's working back through the field or if he's 30 seconds out in front. He's still going at it hard and trying to get everything out of the car.
Maximum performance always.
Always.
Okay, let's jump onto the podium then. Do you want to start with third?
Yeah, we'll go third and up. Who you got?
I've gone Leclerc. The
Nice.
Monegasque himself, as the commentators say, every single chance they get.
Yeah.
The Monegasque third in practice session 2. Like, have you noticed that? Have you seen the
No.
reviews for the practice session they post up on the Formula 1 YouTube channel?
So not even Monaco, just in general. Yeah, right.
Every single chance they get, it's the Monegasque.
Oh,
Take note.
okay. Is
What
that
about
because
you?
it's not a big, like, country or whatever?
I think they do it with sort of everyone finds something that they can just sort of cling to. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Antonelli, the youngest pole sitter. Like,
the boy from Bologna.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
oh, that was this weekend
Yeah.
just gone, yeah. Who did you have for third, mate?
I had the Aussie boy himself,
Piastri.
Piastri.
So
I was trying to think of what the commentators might cling to for him.
the
something-
Melbourneian.
Melbourneian, you reckon? Don't know. Yep, I've gone Piastri. So I think young fella's in some fantastic form. And yeah, just looking very quick. But I mean, I can't really say much more than just that I think 2 other drivers are going to be slightly quicker, and that's pretty much about all there is to it.
Oh, I can guess what colour they're probably wearing too.
Probably.
Second then.
I had Norris. So I went for the other McLaren. So I have gone double down on the McLaren podium. Thinking Norris will be quick. Pretty well match it with his teammate, but obviously no team orders and no chance to pass. So I think that might be essentially quali position, and that's how she'll stay.
So is there any recency bias going on there? So if I'm not mistaken, we may have 2 races that finish in the exact same podium order.
Yep, I can see that now.
Nah, stick with it, mate. Back yourself.
No, I thought process was you tell me second, then I'll tell you first, and then I'll tell you my thought process, actually.
Yeah, right.
All right, who you got for
I've
second?
gone Verstappen second.
Verstappen
On
second.
pole, Joss back to second
Yeah.
because I guess we'll just quickly jump over to it. Piastri gets the win, gets a bit of revenge on him
Wow.
from Imola.
I'd love to see that. Piastri, Monaco. That'd be unreal.
Just see him rip it down the inside, maybe turn one.
But not to get a pole.
No.
So what
He's gonna do it the hard way.
do you reckon he'll be like second or work his way up a couple, or what do you think?
No, I reckon he'll start 20th and he'll do that aggressive strategy. He'll
Fuck
box
yeah.
early.
That'd
and
be
then
unreal.
He'll pull one out.
Mate,
What did you say? Hook one on?
hook one up.
Hook one up? Yeah, hook one up.
Hook one up. Haven't you heard that?
I have, but it makes me think of fishing more than racing.
Oh. Oh, I guess it works. Well, my first place was going to Max Verstappen. So pole and convert the win. And then back to my thought process. So as we've mentioned 1,000 times, Monaco very hard to pass. Quali extremely important. Yeah, so I kind of believe that Verstappen will hook one up and no one else will be able to get the fish off the hook. And yeah, I think Norris has probably got that little bit more experience, and he has been looking very quick, but has just had that minor like brain fade or error or whatever that's cost him. So I think that he'll put one together for this quali lap, and his race pace has been looking good. So I think he'll hold it there, and Piastri in third because he is in a McLaren and he is also looking very quick. And yeah, I know you pointed out that was the finishing order from last race, but I'm sticking with it.
Back yourself in, mate. Good stuff.
Thank you.
We'll see how she pans out. Okay, left of field. Have you got something prepared, or do you want me to lead the way with this one?
Lead the way, because it's been that up and down already that I'm either going to go something that's debatable whether it's left of field, or it'll be that left of field that is just ridiculous. So,
well, I've sort of had a similar problem here because I've got two left of fields. I wanted to run the first one by you, which has sort of been a theme that I'm pushing so far with this pod, but I don't know whether you'll count as a left of field or not. So I've gone a bold strategy call to bring a midfield team solid points. Is that too vague?
It's a bit vague.
And by good points, I'm thinking
we might
top six?
have to tighten that up a bit. So when you say a midfield team,
I'm talking somebody that's qualified outside the top 10, probably towards the back.
The person has qualified outside the top 10. So it could be fucking Piastri qualifying outside the top 10.
No. Midfield team. So,
yeah, but who's midfield?
Well, Williams and down.
So you count Williams as midfield?
If they fall in my slot.
Yeah, slot filler.
I think I can leave that there, and I can make a good argument for it if it does happen. Come race result. Or do you want to run with my other?
The Ferrari fill your slot or not?
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Leclerc at any time.
Oh,
That's what you're looking for, weren't you?
not that answer.
That's what you were hunting for.
No, I was just...
That's why you kept winking at me.
No.
You kept saying, say Leclerc.
I definitely didn't think you were going to come out with that. Fuck, that's rogue. All right, so we're going midfield down, being Williams down.
Yep.
And they quali outside of the top 10.
Yep.
From one of those teams.
Yep.
And then they get solid points, which is what? Above?
Probably, realistically, probably 8th and up.
Yeah, above 8th.
That's...
So 7-1.
But there's got to be a bold strategy call in there. Something to do with the two-stopper.
Right. I think we've got that locked. Good luck.
I can argue a case on the other side of this.
Okay. Good luck. Yep.
Or I was going to simply go with, if you're going to fully reject that, I was going to go for Alonso to score points. But I like my first one better.
All right. Go with your midfield one. My left of field. 3 red flags across the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Happy with that?
It's not too bad.
I feel like
lock her in, mate.
I feel like it's achievable, but left of field enough.
You can do it, boys. Put her in the wall.
Yeah.
Don't hook one up.
What do you think? You happy with that?
Yeah,
or do
mate.
I need to go one more red?
Nah, 3 heaps.
Happy with 3?
Yeah.
All right, I'm locking it.
That's what, one a session over the 5. You're laughing. Few pracky reds. All good.
Pracky reds.
Okay, so we're sort of work in progress with this DNF risk. We don't really know. We need to rename, but we're essentially coming up with a driver who we predict will struggle over the weekend.
Or it could be a team, just
Someone.
someone or something that will struggle.
Pirelli.
Pirelli tyres.
Yeah, so it's a work in progress, but I've gone with Gasly for no other reason than vibes.
Gasly.
Pierre. He goes by Pierre Gasly. Sort of said that like, Gasly, who the fuck is Gasly?
No, I don't know why I said it like that.
He was like, Gasly.
Gasly.
What about you, mate? You got someone that you feel like may enter the flop zone?
I don't know if it will fit in your slot or not, but
Preoccupied.
but Leclerc.
We're recording this shit too late.
Maybe I'll put Leclerc in there, actually. Fuck it. Leclerc can go in your slot.
To absolutely bottle it.
Yeah. No, it doesn't have to be bottle it, just lower than expected.
But for
Below expectations. How about that? Can that be our segment?
Yeah, we just discuss it mid-pod. Below expectation.
Below
it does feel
expectation.
like a performance review.
Yeah.
It does open the... yeah, I mean, we could argue it. But then
I
that...
think we need something a bit more creative.
Yeah, it's a bit fucking HR spec, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like my performance reviews.
All right, and now this one completely, well, not really a prediction as such, no points on the line, but just someone under the pump going into this weekend that I wanted to quickly speak about is old Liam Lawson. I feel like he's had a very rough start to his full-time Formula 1 career with the early demotion / promotion. But yeah, he's just been in shocking form recently. Can't seem to get a half-decent time out of the car. So he's starting towards the back, and he's just not being able to work his way through the field either. And yeah, I can sort of feel like the vultures may be circling there if he doesn't start to close the gap to Hadjar at a very minimum. Because Hadjar's been putting in some quality performances, which are making his tough days look even worse. So yeah, under the pump, Liam Lawson going into this weekend. Want to see hopefully a little bit of improvement.
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely feeling the pressure when you kind of see him about in the interviews and when they catch him kind of walking around the grid when he doesn't really know there's a camera on him. He looks a bit deflated. And, earlier on he was pretty jovial, up and about. And
Very chipper, wasn't he?
Yeah, but seems to be a bit flat. I know he's had a few races that haven't gone as planned and qualies and stuff where he's been a bit stitched up as such with red flags, but he's really got to start to pull some performances out, or they might be looking elsewhere. Maybe Arvid Lindblad from F2 might be an option.
It's a ruthless sport and you don't want to see it happen, but yeah, he may go from the top 10 to no seed at all come the end of the season if he doesn't start to piece it together and hook one. What was it?
Hook one up.
Hook one up. I keep going to say hook one on.
You see, you're just pure fishing.
I must have your old saying of strap one on. I must have that running through
Where,
my brain. or
how have you
something,
got back to that? See? We start bloody talking about if it fills your slot and Leclerc, and now you're strapping one on as well.
She's all going on.
Jesus.
It's going to be a busy weekend at Monaco.
Oh. Is that during the race because the race isn't as exciting?
Yeah, you got to keep yourself entertained somehow.
Yeah. And your multi-million-dollar fucking cruise ships.
Oh, yeah, that's a completely different topic from the banter, but fucking oath, there's some money in that bay.
Isn't there?
Monaco weekend. Damn.
All right. Wouldn't want a tsunami to go through there.
Insurance companies wouldn't. That's for sure.
But not even just the like the boats on the marina, like all the houses and celebrities and stuff that live in Monaco or just
Zero income tax. That'll do it.
Oh, is that right?
Mm.
Ah, sneaky little fuckers.
That's why all the Formula One drivers reside there.
Yeah, little sneaky buggers.
Oh, what is tax?
Ah.
Fun fact for you.
Yeah.
So to become a citizen of Monaco, you have to open up to even become eligible to begin the process to become a citizen in Monaco.
Yeah.
You have to open a bank account with whatever the bank is called there, Bank of Monaco. You have to deposit.
This facts are going well.
You have to deposit 500,000 USD, and then that gets your foot in the door to potentially start the process to become a citizen of Monaco. I think you may have had to prove that you make X amount per year as well. But yeah, interesting.
Wow. So we're
You clearly were not listening to a word I just said.
I did.
That was the most
I listened.
underwhelming response. Actually, if I can get some editing skills here, I may just chuck that in so we can hear it again just for the listeners at home. I'll just edit that in right now.
Wow.
Zero level of enthusiasm in that.
Oh, mate. Look,
Do we want to act it out again?
maybe.
Okay, ready? Yeah, so it's $500,000 just to get yourself your foot in the door to become a citizen at Monaco.
Is that right? That's
Oh,
fucking crazy. 500,000.
Jesus, you just blown the mic out. Poor people at home listening to that. Gee, damn.
Oh, I got a bit distracted. You know what it's like. You waffled on a bit, mate. I've only got a short attention span. It was a fun fact to start with, and then it got to a fun documentary.
No, mate, you got distracted by something on your phone. You better give us something decent. Here we go.
I want to do a little game to finish off the pod.
All right.
So,
Wow.
I was going to... touche. I was going to do the whose number is it? And that's where we guess the driver from the race number. But we already... we're just mucking around beforehand, and you started reeling them off without knowing that was what I was going to do later. So we're going to change it up, and we're going to do a game that I've called F1 Alphabet A to Z.
Oh, my God. Here we go.
So the game is that we're given a topic, which we will then take turns going through the alphabet and providing answers that correspond to that particular letter. For example, driver names. And I think that might be a good spot for us to start.
Oh, man.
So, we're going to start.
Last names?
We'll go based off last names.
Fuck.
And we'll start with A and work through to Z.
So are we both going A, or is it A, B, C?
We'll alternate. We'll take turns.
Gotcha.
Would you like to kick us off?
No, I think you can kick us off with A.
All right. Albon.
Okay. B. Behrman.
Rightio. C. Struggling already.
Do we have a 5-second timeout?
Maybe we should.
I'll watch the record time here, and if it goes over 5 seconds, you're going to get an interjection.
C. Yep. I
Can I jump in to steal that point?
Yeah, you've got a C.
Colapinto.
Oh, fuck.
And now I will start with D.
You're on the D, yep.
De Vries.
Good one. We got
E.
E. Oh, shit.
Is there an E?
Has to be an E. can think of Eddie Irvine, but Eddie doesn't count.
I don't even know who that is.
E. No, I'm
Yeah, no, I've got nothing for that either. I mean, we could have... It doesn't really work. I was going to say we could have researched it, so we added some quick results there, but it's sort of...
Yeah, because there's only 2 of us, so we can't really host.
Okay, what do I do now? E, F. I was going to go Fernando. F. Fuck. This shit's hard.
I don't think there's an F1 driver called Fuck.
Oh, plenty of them been called fuckheads and the like, I'm sure, by other drivers. No, I've got nothing. Anything for the steal?
I think it's like Frentzen.
Nah, he's making shit up now.
Heinz Harold Frentzen or something like
Okay, G.
that. Is this me?
Yeah.
G. Fuck, this is harder than I thought. Sounded easy when I wrote it down. G. George Russell. G.
I'm going to give this game one more minute, then I'm going to call it. And we're
this
tell
isn't
the points.
going so well for us, is it?
G. Move on from G.
All right, moving on. G.
You can go.
You got it. I've got nothing for
Okay.
G.
What do I say? H. Hulkenberg.
Nice
Yes, Nico.
So that's
I.
me for I, so I'll go for Irvine.
Who's this fucking Irvine?
Eddie Irvine. F1 driver.
Who? When?
I
Old school.
don't know, like 90s or something.
Yeah, I wasn't around back then.
Neither was I, but I've heard of him. Eddie Irvine.
What up to now? J.
93 to 2002.
H-I-J. Mate, this is got to be a snooze fest to listen to because I've got nothing for J.
We might have to can it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not
It'll
gonna
work.
be-
First and last names will work as J. I'd be like, yeah, Jensen, Button.
Maybe we should just chuck some first and last names in just to...
All right, 30 seconds, then we're timing out.
Get out of
I've
here.
got an unassailable lead at this point.
Yeah, I'd give you that. What about... I can go J, Eddie Jordan.
Right. Next. Okay.
So J, K.
Kvyat.
Nice. L. Leclerc.
Okay.
M. Who you got for M?
Yeah, nah. Nothing.
Magnussen.
Oh, yes.
The
The fiery man himself.
N. Got anyone for N?
No. And I think that's it. We're wrapping her up. We might have to go back to the tape to see who won, but I think I may have got one or two.
I'm just happy to give you that one sticks and we won't listen to that again and
Yeah, we'll move on from that.
brush up on some more F1 knowledge before we try something like that again.
That's all right. We can run some more games. Just freshen them up a little bit. Bit
think-
of a work in progress.
Yeah, we probably need someone to host them for us.
Yeah, true.
Get someone with some answers. They
Might
can
have
give
to
us hints.
Get ChatGPT as the our co-host with some answers.
Ooh, bit of
That could
AI.
be- that could be the go.
Yeah, that could work.
All right. On that note, I reckon we box this pod, Freezer.
Yeah, time to retire today's episode. If you've liked us, hit share, follow, share us with another F1 fan. Oh, fucked it up again.
Every time.
You see what? Because I go, if you've liked us, and then I panic, and then say share, and then I double up. Anyway, share it with another F1 fan, and we'll catch you on another. Oh, fuck. We'll catch you on another one.
Don't let this man pilot a plane. He can't bring it down. He doesn't
See?
know how to land it.
This is why I shouldn't be given responsibilities.
See ya.
Bye.
Look at this. This is not a dog. This is a piece of shit.